What is this place we have here? We've been here before. We must go back in time. This is that tomorrow. This is that time. Payan.
Ezra, chapter 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord, spoken by the mouth
Just went for a walk here.
be accomplished,
It's
stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, and he made a prophet
you know, this summer's been really really rainy and stuff. So you have so it's looking more like a jungle than the previous years. But anyways, I wanted to talk about some Bible verses, 2 Corinthians 13, and I usually take my laptop and I have the whole, take my iPod and I have the whole King James, I have the whole audio Bible in my iPod, and I play it on shuffle, so that you know, so I have many songs, and sometimes a Bible verse comes in. So this was 2 Corinthians 12. And I just want to talk about for a while, because thorn, because it has some parallels with my life even. So he's talking about Paul said that you know, he was caught up into third heaven, and then like after that it's after that he kind of says it's paradise, so that's interchangeable, third heaven and paradise. So anyway, so he says that, and he said, like, I heard unspeakable words, or he's referring to someone else, I guess. He says, I knew a man in Christ who was caught up into third heaven, and then he says to paradise. He paraphrases it with paradise, and he heard unspeakable things which are not lawful for man to utter. Now, this sounds really interesting. And then he also mentions whether in the body or out of the body, I don't know, God knows. That's basically what he's saying. But interesting, it parallels with my own experience in my life, where I was, you know, caught up to heaven as well. I mean, you know, I had, you know, I told you about my experience in New Zealand, and so I just wanna, but I don't know if I mentioned in that video that actually, you know, I was in a coma for a while, because then I woke up at the hospital, you know, and I started screaming words, you know. I don't remember exactly word for word what it was, but it felt like it was not me who was speaking those words. So in other words, you know, and Paul is, you know, in this chapter he's saying like he was, that he's speaking those words, he's hearing words that are not lawful for man to utter. I guess it doesn't have any, you know, because I was screaming those words, and those were, it felt like I'm not the one who's saying them, because I just woke up screaming, you know, from coma, or I think, because I, you know, after the car crash, I remember like being, you know, all bleeding and stuff, still they were getting me out of the car, and then I passed out because they put, I think I'm sure I passed out because I don't remember like being in the ambulance, so I just woke up at the hospital. And yeah, so it's interesting. And those, what I screamed, or it wasn't, not really a scream, but it was pretty loud. The doctor says, like, you know, ranting about Saturn and or serpent and Jesus Christ. So this is what they said I was talking about, or ranting, after I woke up from the coma, right? So you know, I think it's interesting. And actually I met another person in the hospital, and she was like, you know, yeah, you know, I had a car crash, and when you know, I also screamed, you know, Megadeth lyrics, which mine was mostly from the band Tool, the lyrics. So it was the song, I think, The Garage, and the song called H, as the letter H. Now that's why I named myself Joseph H, like on my email or whatever. It's just sunset right now, you know, but it's really cool that she had also a similar experience. This woman I met in the hospital.
I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Yeah, so I just oh yeah, and I, you know, after the heaven kind of disappeared, the heaven feeling and the, you know, the feeling of invincibility, and I didn't feel the pain. And that's why I was relating to this band Tool a lot back then, because they had lyrics like, you know, we are eternal and we are immortal, and all this pain is an illusion, right? But then, you know, after some time, I already felt the pain again.
All things are delivered to me of my Father, and no man knoweth who the Son is but the Father.
And I became sick, you know, and it was getting worse since 2010 until now. So,
said privately,
you know, or actually even before that, but it was getting more worse after 2010 and 12. And yeah, and you know, regarding this chapter, 2 Corinthians 12, that you know, Paul said also that, like, you know, he had a thorn in the flesh, and he said, like, I have infirmities, you know, which basically means like sicknesses, suffering, and I will glory with these, like, you know. So there is a parallel between that chapter and my life, because he says, you know, he was caught up to heaven, and then he got the suffering, you know, thorn in the flesh. It's referred to infirmities, and he said, like, and weaknesses, and I will glory in these. So I have the same thing. I suffer pretty much, you know, every day since I lost that, you know, that heaven back in 2008. So, you know, and he also says, like, when I am weak, then I am strong. You know, so I think, you know, in this chapter there's a little bit of comfort, you know, for me, because you know, he you know, but anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about, this parallel with this chapter and my own life experience. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this with you, and also, you know, nice sunset here, and just went for a walk. Show you the landscape here. All right. So yeah. Okay.